As we told you earlier in the show, U.S. beef exports are on pace for another strong year. And that's thanks in part to Japan, which has long been one of the top destinations for U.S. beef. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Brian Baxter went along on a recent trade mission to Japan to learn more about the relationship between our two countries.
In a busy Tokyo train station, a cowboy hat is probably not what you'd expect to see in the crowd. Even so, it was a little more common when the U.S. Meat Export Federation hosted a group of 31 beef, pork, corn, and soybean producers during a 5-day whirlwind trip to the key export market of Japan.
So far, Japan's been a pretty amazing place. It's quite amazing culture, huge city, lots of people. Happy to see them eating lots of beef.
Gosh, we've gotten to do everything from touring a Wagyu farm in Sendai to a meat market or a packing plant in downtown Tokyo. And we've also gotten to see American beef in the actual retail cases in supermarkets. And it really drove home for me the point that Japan can only provide like 36% of its own domestic need. And demand here is growing, and U.S. is in a great position to fulfill that need, especially with the work of U.S. MEF.
The group of U.S. ag producers called the Heartland Team got a first-hand look at Japan's own Wagyu beef production, as well as meat processing plants, U.S. MEF barbecue promotions, and Japan's major retail stores where U.S. beef was competing alongside beef from Australia and elsewhere.
Very fortunate to be over here with the Heartland Team, with US MEF, getting a chance to see kind of ground level in Japan, what their efforts look like in the Japanese market and what the Japanese market itself looks like in terms of not just with the consumer, but with processors, retailers. We've really seen the whole gamut while we've been over here.
Well, the Heartland Team is an opportunity for us to bring a cross-section of our membership, really grassroots production side of our membership, over to, in this case, Japan, to one of our key markets. And really in a matter of 1 week, we're able to show them a little bit of everything that we're doing to help and try to develop the market. You know, we're meeting importer distributors, we're meeting retailers, we're meeting the food service segment, but more importantly, they get a feel for the culture and really all the moving parts that go into developing a market on an everyday basis.
Japan is the #1 export market for U.S. beef, totaling more than $2 billion last year. But this is a nation with more than 125 million people and some of the world's highest average incomes. So there's still a real opportunity to continue growing U.S. beef sales in this market.
Well, it's enlightening to me to see that the Japanese consumer has a lot of room for growth in beef consumption, especially U.S. beef. I mean, the palate, they will like it. They really do enjoy it. We just don't have a huge consumption rate in Japan right now, but it's growing. I think we've got huge potential in growing beef consumption in Japan.
My impressions of the Japanese market is that they're very loyal to buying U.S. beef, provided that it's it's a value to them. They see it as superior in both quality and reliability of what we can deliver on a daily basis. And I think we're hearing the same things that I've been hearing from domestic consumers is quality, quality, quality. And I think the American producer is hearing that loud and clear, and I think we can fill that niche.
US MEF opened its first office in Japan more than 40 years ago and continues to conduct a wide variety of promotion and education programs aimed at growing Japanese demand for U.S. beef. Those programs are supported by USDA foreign marketing dollars and also by U.S. producers through the Beef Checkoff and their state beef councils.
So North Dakota Beef Commission has been involved with US MEF for a long time. They've had a good long-standing relationship, and it's important to the North Dakota producer to invest in US MEF so that they can continue to do some projects like they do in Japan. And we actually from North Dakota have contributed to US MEF to help promote the retail side and the restaurant side of the beef promotion and US beef in Japan.
Well, we see value with the relationship with US MEF because of the increase in in money that it brings to beef operations all over Nebraska. It adds about over $300 a head to our industry. Without that, we'd be leaving a lot of money on the table.
You know, our Beef Checkoff dollars are hard at work here, and I really feel more confident about it today than I ever have before. It really is making a difference here in Japan, and you know, that export market's worth so much money to the producers that produce all the way down to the cow-calf producer, and I think it's just extremely important to continue to support programs like these that really helps everybody's bottom dollar.
With the USMEF Heartland Team in Tokyo, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
To learn more about the work of the U.S. Meat Export Federation and its efforts to enhance U.S. beef demand overseas, visit their website at usmef.org.